Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I will be reviewing the Dream Theater 40th anniversary concert that I recently attended on 21 March 2025 at the Anthem in Washington, D.C. So from the first time I heard Dream Theater's one and only hit single, Pull Me Under, on the radio in 1992, I quickly became obsessed with this band and their major label release with new singer James LaBrie, Images and Words. The last Dream Theater tour I had attended, though, was their 2017 Images, Words, and Beyond tour, as I was seduced by the news of them performing Images and Words in its entirety in order. That album still remains one of my favorite progressive metal albums of all time, but that would be the first Dream Theater concert that I actually found kind of disappointing. So when Dream Theater announced this 40th anniversary tour, featuring the return of founding band member Mike Portnoy behind the drum kit, I simply could not resist, and I actually felt like I kind of owed it to these guys to go. So the Anthem is a three-tiered theater-style venue that holds about 3,000 people for an all-seated concert, which this one was, and Dream Theater sold it out. Upon entering the venue, we immediately noticed a huge curtain draping the entire front of the stage and adorned with the Dream Theater 40th Anniversary Tour logo, and it looked awesome. My wife and I had excellent seats near the middle front section of the second tier, and at 8 p.m. sharp, the symphonic intro music blasted through the PA system, signaling to the crowd that things are about to get real. Minutes later, the stage lighting begins to show signs of life behind the curtain as the intro section to Metropolis Part 1, The Miracle and the Sleeper, takes form. And then right at the explosive part, when all the instruments come in and da-da-da-da-da, the curtain drops and the band is firing on all cylinders. I mean, I was immediately grinning from ear to ear because the sound mix sounded great right off the bat. And the stage show this time around was one of Dream Theater's finest. And John Mayung's bass was actually loud and clear in the mix for once. So I went into this knowing that James LaBrie was just not the same vocalist at the age of 61 as he was back in 1992, and his shortcomings really showed here, as Metropolis is probably one of the hardest songs for him to sing. LaBrie sounded pretty decent on some of the songs though, especially the newer stuff, so I really take my hat off to him, same as I did with Geddy Lee on Rush's R40 tour, as neither of them shied away from the most difficult older songs. I always felt that Dream Theater could really benefit from taking a singer/guitarist on toward them to sing harmony vocals with LaBrie and play some rhythm guitar while Petrucci solos. As much as Portnoy and Petrucci like to sing the occasional harmony vocals, they sound about as good as I do when I sing along to Dream Theater, which is not that great. So following that opening number with Overture and Strange Deja Vu from their masterpiece concept album Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, was about the best way Dream Theater could possibly open this concert for me. The electricity in the air from seeing Portnoy back behind the drum kit was unmistakable, and the sold-out crowd was really into it. The Mirror came next and included the outro solo section of Lie. These are actually two of my least liked songs from the Awake album, actually, but they were ungodly heavy this night and sounded pretty great. Barstool Warrior and Hollow Years returned to the more lighter, melodic side of the band, and they both sounded excellent this night. The band is playing the 96 demo version of Hollow Years this tour and finds Petrucci doing a nearly 4-minute extended bluesy intro, before the rest of the band joins in for a much more organic version of this Falling into Infinity ballad. So the first set closed with two of the band's heaviest songs, Constant Motion and As I Am, which I bet Portnoy actually picked for this set list. he was hitting the drums hard on these babies. I've always been a bigger fan of Dream Theater's more melodic prog rock stuff than the super technical down-tuned metal stuff, but I can always appreciate a killer heavy song like As I Am, and it was a fitting way to end the first set with some serious authority. After a 15-minute intermission, a recorded orchestral overture featuring excerpts and video images from every Dream Theater album introduces the second set and eventually launches into Night Terror, the first single off the new Parasomnia album. And by God, I think the mix actually got even better for the second set. Labrie also sounded the best he had all night on this song, and their performance gave me a whole new appreciation of this song that I had not quite really gotten from the multiple listens on Spotify. They followed with Midnight Messiah, the only other Parasomnia song they would perform this night, thankfully. And although the performance sounded fine, I was still left very kind of underwhelmed by this song in general. This Is the Life is easily the best ballad from the Mangini era, but it was just okay here, especially compared to the excellent performance that was captured on their Live at Luna Park concert Blu-ray of 2013. Vacant has always been kind of meh to me, and this performance did nothing to really sway that opinion. Labrie sounded low in the mix, and his vocals were not particularly strong here either. Stream of Consciousness, however, is one of the band's finest instrumentals, and they really locked into a solid groove this night. Although Mike Mangini was a phenomenal drummer for Dream Theater, Mike Portnoy really provides an extra bit of flair and his unique personality to these live performances that was often missing here. The highlight of the second set, of course, came next with the epic 23-minute prog masterpiece Octavarium. I'd say that Dream Theater have been hit and miss with their 20-minute epics, especially the later period ones, but Octavarium is definitely one of their top-tier epics, and it was magnificent this night to close out the second set. The encore kicked off with the always amazing The Spirit Carries On, although I was pretty pissed that they skipped Home this night, as they have been playing it before The Spirit Carries on most other nights. They have also been switching up a few songs each night, such as playing Under a Glass Moon and A Nightmare to Remember every other show, instead of Constant Motion and As I Am. But I would have traded both these songs for Under a Glass Moon without a doubt. Being that this was their 40th anniversary celebration, they pretty much had to play Pull Me Under, and I am grateful they did, as it was, after all, the song that started me on this amazing Dream Theater journey from the start. And as Rush has proved a decade ago on their 40th anniversary tour, you never really know when it could be the last time seeing it played live. So the set list for this concert shown here featured 16 songs, and the entire show lasted nearly 3 hours. It's kind of surreal to realize that it's been more than 30 years since I first heard Dream Theater. I still consider them to be one of the newer bands that I'm into, and perhaps that shows my age more than anything. As I previously mentioned, I've attended about 80% or so of Dream Theater's tours, and I would rank this one up in the top 50%, definitely. Not quite mind-blowing like others I've seen, but pretty great nonetheless. One criticism I've had of the post-Portnoy tours is that things can be a little too robotic and by the numbers on stage. I always joke with my wife when watching Dream Theater concert videos about how Petrucci and my young just have to be androids. To this day, I still shake my head in awe every time I watch them play live. Granted, these guys are performing some seriously complex music up there, and the ramped up stage shows now require a lot of synchronization. But come on, man. Leave your designated spots once in a while and interact with your bandmates and fans on the other side of the stage, just occasionally at least. After this tour, these guys should really do an intimate stripped down show in some small club in like Long Island where they're from and film it for a concert Blu-ray. Kind of like what Def Leppard recently did with their Live at the Lead Mill concert. Hey man, a man can dream, right? All right, let me know your thoughts on Dream Theater's 40th anniversary concert in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And please use the Amazon affiliates links in the description below if you decide to purchase any of the concert videos or CDs I have mentioned in this review. Catch you next time.